Hi, friend. Welcome to the Momfluence Podcast. I'm your host, Sonia Cacique. I'm a mom of twins, a licensed school counselor, an educator, and an entrepreneur. This is our community where we get to work together while building a network of people and resources so you can meet your personal goals and career aspirations. You'll hear episodes with tools and strategies while also sharing stories from a wide variety of experts in the field. Because just like a mom, we all can be influential in a child's life. So come with me. And let's get started. Hey friend, welcome to the Momfluence Podcast. I'm your host, Sonia Cacique. If this is your first time listening in, welcome. We're having so many new listeners that I'm just super excited. I want to personally welcome you to our community of mentors and experts in the field that want to see you succeed. Whether you're listening to us while on the road, while doing morning exercise, or getting ready for the day, I thank you for opening some time in your schedule so we can spend a few minutes of conversation together. I honestly feel like we're just longtime friends hanging out at a nice coffee house and having our favorite drink and some heart-to-heart time together. Because friend, I am walking this journey with you. And to be very honest, I'm growing personally and professionally throughout this podcast journey with you. I love finding answers for you and inviting mentors to share their journey with you and myself. Every time I record an episode, I walk away with some amazing takeaways for my personal growth and development. Because finding your career is not the end of your journey, my friend. It's just the beginning. And that is what this podcast is about. Whether you're in high school, beginning to explore career options, a college student that's in the in-between career change phase of your life, or a recent graduate that is trying to find your first job opportunity or career move, I promise, friend, you will walk out encouraged after every episode. And speaking of episode, today's conversation is going to be epic. I'm going to have a raw conversation with you and ask you some questions for you to think about. If anything pops in your mind during this episode, or if you have some takeaways, I'd love to hear from you. Honestly, I feel like I could do a whole workshop on this. So grab your pen and pencil if you have one, or just listen to this episode and take notes afterwards. Because this conversation is one that I hope you can use as a personal guide to your career journey. But before we get started, I wanted to take a minute to say that the best way to continue to share our podcast beyond our immediate community is by sharing it on social media. My personal favorite spot is Instagram. So just take a minute or two to screenshot the episode that you vibe with the most and let me know what you liked most about it. Share it on your Instagram stories or post and tag me so I can personally thank you, my friend. Since we launched in August, our podcast is being heard in multiple countries, and this is all thanks to you. Okay, so let's get started on today's topic. I want you to take some time to really ask yourself a few questions. If you already know what you want to do as a career, this conversation will hopefully reaffirm your choice. And if you are unsure at this moment what you want to be when you grow up and are still kind of deciding about what career you should pursue, then this is the perfect starting point. So no matter where you are at in your career journey, I think there are some great takeaways from this conversation that you and I will have here together. I think as you or your child, if you're a parent listening, start exploring career opportunities, it is important to identify two key things. The first one is to identify who you are as a person, okay? And the second, what you value most or what is most valuable to you. Once you've answered these two questions, then you can start moving on to the next part, which is your career choice or what career choices align with your beliefs, values, and who you are as a person. So how many people have gotten into a career that on paper or in book sounded ideal, but it wasn't really who they were as a person? Maybe the financial income or financial stability from that career was very enticing. And don't get me wrong, I think financial income is extremely important. But if you're not enjoying what you're doing as a career, or you won't enjoy what you'll be doing for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, then you're spending way too many hours in something that you dislike. And maybe looking at other careers or job opportunities is well worth your time now rather than later. So let's start with the first one, who you are. You know yourself better than anyone else. What sparks your interest? What are you good at? What skills, gifts, or talents were you gifted with? We all have something we're good at, my friend, and that even may be something that's easy for you or comes natural for you or something that people have seen in you. What do people say about you? Okay, this is a great question to ask your immediate family, your friends. Notice about you. I promise, if you ask the most closest to you, they will be able to see things that you probably don't even see in yourself and how you're impacting others already. A lot of people identify their self-worth based on their job title, or job status. But if you find a career that enhances your God-given gifts and talents, then you can make a significant impact on yourself, your own self-worth, and on others. You will probably be working relatively around 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, as I mentioned earlier. Why not work in a career that encourages your natural talents and abilities? Now, I'm not saying you can't learn new things, but aligning who you are while also learning new opportunities that encourages your personal self-worth will be much more rewarding. And not to mention the impact you can make on others and the world around you. So let me give you a quick example, and I'm going to be very true and honest with you. I've always felt a love for education, and when I was young, the only vision of a career I had in mind was in education. And being a teacher was the most common career path that I could think of. So with the right opportunities that presented itself in my life, I became a high school teacher. For those of you who know my story, I became an educator at a very young age where I taught biology for a couple of years and then moved to a wonderful opportunity to be a pharmacy technician program educator for the latter part of my years teaching in high school. Fast forward to today, I'm still in education, still very passionate and loving what I do, but now I'm in a different role. I serve and promote education in a different role while working closely with teachers, educators, and districts in 25 states, and our company continues to grow. I'm still continuing to use my skills and talents that set me apart as an educator, which was connecting with our young community and educators, but now throughout our country, and with this podcast in multiple countries as well. I love encouraging and motivating others to continue their education and aspiring to reach their personal and career goals. It makes me feel good, and I'm still in the field that once upon a time, when I was a young little girl, always inspired and motivated me, which was to be an integral part of the field of education. And although I have gotten other opportunities along the way offered to me, I have turned several of them down because they were not aligned with who I was and what I valued the most, which leads me to my next and final important point to share with you today, which is your core values. If you have already set your mind to a career, what do you value in your future career? What do you value most about it? If you're still in the career exploration phase, what do you value the most right now that you could probably foresee in doing the same in your future career? Is that something that you think you'll value in your future version self? If you had your dream job right now, what do you value the most about your job? Just think about that for a second. If you had your dream job right now, what would you like to have valued the most about your job? So let's go back to my story. I'm in education, and I really value education, motivation, encouragement, our young community, and my current profession, my current job really allows me to continue to fulfill something that I value the most, which is education. And so these are just some things to start thinking about in your future career. Doing that job or being part of that industry or field Is that something that you value as a person? Remember, you'll be spending countless hours in your profession. And if you are passionate about it, if you are doing something that you value, then you will definitely be putting in your best effort and shining through, which leads to success, right? We all want success. And I didn't even start my conversation with that because I feel like we can have a whole nother episode to talk about what finding success means. But if you are in a job that you love, that you're using your God-given gifts, talents, abilities, and that the product or the service that you provide is something that you value, then I think you are on your way to the path of success. So now that I've mentioned these 2 points to think about, I want to ask you a question. Does the career that you are considering align with your belief, values, and will it continue to encourage and enhance who you are as a person? Have you given some time to think about why you aspire that career, title, or profession? Does it align with who you are as a person? How did you decide on that career choice? Where did the idea stem from? When was the first time you thought about that career or explore that career? These are just questions to think about, my friend, and the list can go on. It's really a matter of you just sitting down and thinking about the questions that I've asked you and then seeing if your career aligns with them. Now, I have a little homework for you. I want you to take some action, okay? So I want you to take some next steps. Once you have sat down and kind of thought through these questions, or maybe you've taken some notes and journaling your ideas and anything that really comes to mind as you're listening to this episode, now it's time to validate your perception, your vision, your thought about this career. So what I ask you to do, or what I recommend you do, is find someone in that field of study and talk to them. Ask them questions. Shadow them for a day. Don't just grab a book or look online. Speak to someone directly, my friend. I'd rather you know early on than wait until you finish your career to realize you had a whole other different version of what this career really was about, or the job title, or the profession you're seeking to pursue. Now, I might have to do a whole other episode on how to reach out to people and how to connect, but the first step is looking around you and see who you could tap into to see if they can help you find someone in the field that you're interested in. But again, that will be for a whole nother episode. And if you felt a little uncomfortable throughout this conversation, then maybe it's exactly the right time to sit down and reevaluate who you are, what your values are, and the career of choice that you want to pursue. I hope that you have left encouraged and motivated. I have some pretty epic guests coming up soon, so please make sure that you subscribe to our podcast so you are alerted when the next episode is released. We have new episodes every other week, every other Thursday, so please make sure that you subscribe so you are alerted as soon as they are released. And join me on Instagram as well. It's a great way for us to communicate and keep in touch. Oh my goodness, friend. I love speaking to you. On our next episode, I have an amazing guest that I'm so honored to be able to have here on our podcast. It's someone that really inspires me and motivates me to be the best version of myself that I can. So I can't wait for you to listen to who it is. And remember, friend, I love you. I'm always cheering for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi, friend. Thank you for listening in. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean so much to me if you share it with a friend. Send it to them right now, or even better, tag me on your Instagram story so I can personally thank you for helping me build our community. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. Let's keep in touch, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.